We're here today fixing the mentality of the slave now that it's a fact known there's a holiday for these slaves and for people around the world to recognize the pain and suffering that those who consider themselves black. And we have to teach them that the word black, that is just a word that they created to block them from their truth. So as we begin to start teaching the truth of what is going on, I am M.G. Michael Gabriel, Skate Master Spark, I now Gabriel the 19th. And the 19th of this particular June was recognized by the President Biden, signed into law of the freeing of the slave. So we can take away the myth of every 25 years that they have to sign the paper to keep us not slaves, because by law of this federal holiday, it's on the books. So as we continue to do these things and to teach, you have to get a different mentality. The things that you're doing in the 24-hour period will not keep you afloat. You will deteriorate. There's two things. You have growth and you have deterioration. And deterioration is that which is not continued. So the fact that you overstuff yourself, the fact that you're eating flesh when it tells you to eat meat, and you thinking meat is flesh and flesh is meat, and you don't know the difference because you have a slave mentality. You have fell from what we call to be an advisor to the world or overseer to being told what to do, and the information that they're telling you is not correct. I'm trying to be neutral, partial, trying to be the best example for you. It gets more energetic, it gets more forceful with the speech, but at the same time, it's true. Now, as far as the conduct of women, slavery, coming out of slavery, is not. It's not. That's why it is said, if you want to learn, you learn in silence. Don't add on to the confusion by what you think, because it will not lead you out of the trap. If you notice that many people are going into beauty to be beautiful, which they call it cosmetology. Now listen to the word cosmetology, you find cosmos, you'll find the stars. So they took the stars and made them people for you to follow, so they can give you a false guidance and stir you in the wrong direction. That's where the word my steer, or master. All these words can be now linked and shown that you actually have a land gauge that is taking you away from your full potential. So this may sound a little strange to those who have not stopped, but if you stop at the Sabbath, what it's going to do is going to reset your DNA. It's going to align you, put you in tune with your higher powers that is dormant inside you, and it is waiting for you outside you. So you're like trapped off in a time warp of misconfiguration of life. So these things that you must think about as we continue. They say, okay, they recognize I have not seen any celebrations. I've seen the festive celebrations, but that is not going to take you where you need to be and be victorious. It's not going to put you back in your right position. Now, those people that I'm thinking about is those new souls that came when I arrived. I arrived in about 1977. It took time for uh, it took time, and so we'll just give it another 10 years. So that's 87, and then prior to that, things happened. So it was dip and dap. Dip and dap means that you come to Earth, you see, if it's not the right timing, you have to leave. And then you come back. And how you come back, which is called the crown chakra, which is the top of the head. And from there is the etheric cord, which is not seen by the eyes. Uh, and it has been explained, but what happened was the women who are supposed to be in charge, who are using their powers of persuasion to get their way, but they're not honorable. They're not honorable because they're not teaching, they're not living it, and they're not establishing that which was established not by them, but by that who made them, who created the women. That's where you got it mixed up. And you can come to an angelic being and tell the angels that you don't want to do it. You want to do it your way. That you want to go to Africa. That you want to go to Greece. That you want to go to another country to see how it will benefit you as an individual. You didn't want to take the time. You got people that got A's and B's and all kind of uh, certification of the enemy's programming center, of the enemy's programming programs, schools, certificates. That's not, we don't go that route. That's not what we do. People went into the college, and at the time it was to teach those who were in the college, but they did not receive them because I was present. This body was there. They shunned, even though those who agreed at that time, they got tired, they got afraid, they got worn out, and they started doing things that they should have done if they were in the right environment, but they were not in the right environment. So they're doing things as making trinkets and making jewelry and all kinds of things that would have been acceptable at that time if they were in the right environment, if they knew the law, if they were a part of the law, if they had their own tribal formation. But just to get that, to sell that, and to get money, which is tickets from the world banking system, or then they got the bitcoins, or then they still working with gold. That is not the way for deliverance. That is not the way for survival. And now that they say that you was a slave So that put the green light on everybody else to take advantage of you because you do not know the system. Their system is so complicated, it's so confusing, we don't need it. They are not the lawmakers. We are the lawmakers. And once you get back in tune by stepping into the Sabbath and reading and learning and teaching and living those 6 days in between, you will find out the six represents the why of joining you back to your higher self. So the women had the opportunity and is given much respect. But as far as when she's leading the children into the day, is not right. Many women have left their children when their children tell them it's not right for you to leave the country to go to another country that has been invaded, that has been cut up and given to other countries, that has been, it's not right. But they say, oh, I need to go to Africa because they need help. Well, let me explain something to you. All of you who feel the same way. There is no Africa. That is a frame of mind, a disguise, that is misinformation that was done in about 1885, what they call the Berlin Contract, where they took all Africa, put a map on Africa, and cut it out like a piece of cake. And you can Google it, how they separate Africa, how they carved Africa up and gave it away to different countries. So now you have to get back into your prayers. So you say, Our Father who art in heaven. So you look at the images of a pale man or a melanated black man. Don't make a difference. It's not a man. It's not in a body. It is an it force, and it's something you have to learn. The things that you were taught is not correct. The life that you live is 180 degrees or opposite of what you're supposed to be doing. So, I was going to read this here, but right now, with this energy that I'm putting out, so you will learn not to be an object. They say you was a slave and you say you free. That means you're still in their control. Did they tell you what free means? Did they tell you what to do when you're free? How to act? What mental you need? What business plan that you have? Did they say that they have a business plan to give you back the land that they invaded? Did they say that they're going to open a bank and give you a deposit of gold so you can establish a bank? Did they say that reparations? They're not giving up nothing but illusion. And when I speak like this and people hear about that, because you so bent on the things that you learn coming up in that programming center called colleges, private schools, parochial school, home school, all of that, you still don't have the right ingredients for what we call high culture. You don't have it. You don't know it. And those who say, well, you're righteous, you observe the Sabbath, do you teach the Sabbath? Do you live the Sabbath? Are you sharing that knowledge? Or are you hoarding it to yourself? Look at my views, go through my resume, and you'll find people been trying to go another route. It's okay today because already established what is to be established. And those who living their life out on the other side, you will be fine. And that fine is fines, penalties, and tickets and fines and penalties. You see, because the reward that they have for you is not for you. It's reward and penalty. You are the penalty because you're not on your right side. You're not on the side of the righteous. You're not in the realm with the angelic realms. People be saying, well, if there's angels here, where are they at?